Good afternoon, my little peons. I'm back from the grave of convention season and running low on cinematic B-roll, if that wasn't obvious. But you know what I'm not running low on? Lunacy. Welcome back to JDKillZone. Today we're gonna sip from the glass of shorter form videos because the centerpiece of this experience, little wooden circle books, are a more simple yet charming addition to my video project library. Picture, if you will, your lovely host, me, digging through the woodworking section of the local craft store to discover strange cuts of wood that I dare turn into books. If you'll recall, I did something similar and more in-depth for my anatomical tomes video a while back. This is going to be using similar methodology in a simpler format, so if you're curious, go check it out. I'm sure you won't regret being witness to even more of me. For those of you unfamiliar, I always begin with mixed media sketchbooks. Being the cheeky little foxlings you are, I'm sure you've realized by now that JD, these pages, they aren't rectangular. And a rectangle isn't a circle. Squares are rectangles, but rectangles aren't squares or circles. And to that I say, good job. You earned your singular piece of Cinnamon Toast Crunch for the day. That's why I'm doing what you see that I'm doing here. This little guy is a template. I cut him from the cover of the very same sketchbook I tore these pages from. If you'll observe the straight edge, this should hopefully improve the process of punching holes and sewing, seeing as mathematically, you'll need a straight edge somewhere, unless you've figured out how to fold your paper in a circle, in which case, please share with the class. As aforementioned, the final product will be 3 little wooden circle books. In case you wish to recreate the technique yourself, the wood cookies were sold as coasters, so now you know where to look. Though, if you wish your books to be multi-purpose in holding hot beverages as well, I would suggest coating the final piece with a liquid and heat protecting finish. With our pages cut, it is now time to dye. Like, with colors, I mean. My wood cookie books will all 3 be themed as nature, since I will also be wood burning their covers, and I do adore wood burning plants and rocks and things. As such, these pages will be dyed green. I'm using a technique of watercolor dyeing. Soak in the green, lay on the sheet, bake in the heat, bada boo bada bing, wavy little green dudes. Everywhere you look. I hope now you're beginning to see the vision. It is a rather simple one, I will confess. Pages sandwiched between some slabs of tree. There's not much to it on paper, but as most creative ventures, it's about the results. With pages cut, dyed, and pressed, we move on to the focal point of our venture, the burning. There is a tragedy of life, a tragedy that one may or may not personally relate to, and it is a cheap and poorly performing starter wood burner. But boom, baby! With replaceable tips, adjustable heat settings, and 2 pen outlets, we're in business. These people should pay me to pitch this. But at this point, any wood burner may have felt as incredible as a gulp of fresh air after being trapped on an 18-hour car ride with their pet dog who has gas. That's the only thing I could think of for some reason. I apologize. There are 3 visual focuses I have chosen, each pertaining to a cutely wood-burnable thing in nature: flowers, evergreen trees, and dandelions. I considered giving you a peaceful moment to watch the burning process in silence with some tasty music, but I've decided you don't deserve spoiling. I will instead regale you with ranting. After so many years of making books, around 5 to be more detailed, you start to branch into wilder and more experimental territories. Abnormal covers, melding of techniques, fruition of strange ideas. I, as a bookbinder, tend to make mostly normal and expected books that I sell. But for all of you, well, let's say I enjoy having witnesses to my experiments. There are many more things I wish to try, and this means there will be much more to show you in this little game of show and tell of ours, where I show and tell, and you sit there and listen quietly. But of course, I digress. So good of you to sit through me, and I hope you garner some enrichment from the experience. I guess I'll give you your moment of silence with tasty music now. Wow, wasn't that novel? Time to drill! This part is terrifying but necessary, I'm afraid. Not my fingers nor my needles are able to puncture pine on their own, and as such, where I will be sewing along the spine, I must also drill sewing holes onto the poor wooden covers. But don't feel too bad for them, they like it. To sew these little dandies together and to their covers, I'm using the Coptic stitching method, wherein 2 separate cover entities are sewn in order from back to pages to front. A hard truth that all signatures must face. They must be punched with an awl to sew through and around, and each which way necessary. The whole placement is fairly arbitrary, but they must be uniform once you decide across all signatures. Unless, of course, you're getting fancy with it and doing some nice stitching designs, but I'm kissing it today. Keeping it simple, stupid. Though, at this point, I'm starting to sound like the stupid one, aren't I? If I'm being honest, there isn't much to say about these books. They aren't the lengthy, complex designs and processes with plenty of thought and deep pontificating going on behind them, like some of my other projects. I guess, dandelions are pretty legit. Do you like dandelions? Comment below how much you like dandelions out of 10. And, just as quickly as this video has felt, they are done. And they worked, thank goodness. This is a far more approachable angle to bookbinding. One, I feel, that a desirous undertaker could complete with few tools and little prior experience. And if that sounds like you, I'd suggest trying it. You can really substitute Coptic covers with, like, anything that you can sew around. And these are actually a blast. In fact, I've made like 4 more since this video. You can check them out on my Instagram and my shop. I've had a real ball, let me tell you. But beyond those dedicatory words, I will leave you with some parting ones to accompany our final reveal. Enjoy, you've earned it. As the seasons change and the world moves with time in its ever-winding streams, there are few constants. But as life slips through your fingertips and months bleed into years, the constant that will stand by you on this wobbly road is JDKillZone will always be making BS for you to endure and hopefully enjoy. But there's no way off this train once you've boarded. So while I write, and as this classical period piano playlist I'm enjoying instructs me to listen while dominating the competition and becoming the greatest of them all, I laugh in your face and bid you sweet dreams, for you will wake back up in the same nightmare. See ya!